And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ango Show. It is January 30th, 2025. I'm your host, Ango. My co host is Billy TKO. And we are live with another episode. Today, we are going to be talking about AEW Dynamite and the atrocity that it was yesterday. Billy took off his headphones. I said atrocity because that's
I heard you.
exactly
I heard you.
that's exactly what AEW Dynamite was yesterday. And listen, it's crazy, man. It's crazy because I titled the stream AEW gets worse and nobody cares. And of course everybody's gonna run with this whole thing that we're grifting and we're like Eric Bischoff and Jim Cornette. And
Right.
the thing that I'm saying today is the same thing I said 4 or 5 years ago. It's unfortunate, but and I really hate to have to talk about AEW Dynamite so negatively.
Yeah.
But I have to talk about this because nobody cares, and there's a lot of people defending this garbage that we're getting every single week. That's where we're at with this.
Yeah. I mean, this is no good.
It's
This is bad.
it's not good, man. It's not good at all. And unfortunately with AEW, it's a consistency thing, it's a foundational issue.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues. I said it last time when we were talking about Dynamite.
hmm
You could build a mansion, but if the structure is bad, then the mansion comes down, and that's essentially what is happening here with AEW.
Yeah.
They've built a mansion, they've built an extremely expensive mansion, and we're starting to see the foundation issues. And it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate, and
Yes.
we'll obviously talk about some of the things that happened on Dynamite. But Billy, we went from saying, "Look, we're probably not going to talk about Dynamite," to now we are. Um, if we don't speak up, if people don't speak up,
Then what are we doing?
exactly,
What are we doing?
exactly,
Because at the end of the day, we're wrestling fans and we want to see all products succeed. And that's one thing I want to make clear here with talking about this is that you can come on, you could say whatever you want about us. You could say we're AEW haters. You could say the worst things possible about us hating AEW. The thing is neither of us actually hate AEW. It's just you want to see them better. And right now, it's bad. And you're going to criticize when things are bad. And we're going to criticize when they continuously get worse and worse and worse. Something is happening with this product. It's not going in a good direction. We're going to talk about it.
yeah. It's sad, man. It's sad. This is not the same company that it was once before, and I gotta be completely honest with you. I don't feel like Tony Khan knows what he's doing, and you know, I know there's wrestlers and people who watch my content. I've had people reach out and stuff like that, but I'm really just hoping at the end of the day that like AEW figures it out because we are currently stuck in the worst creative period that AEW has ever had.
For sure.
Um, it's just the worst. It's downright terrible. And the thing is, I feel like the more people try to disguise it and the more that the people try to defend it, the more that AEW gets away with it. And it's obvious it's not going well, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not going well at all.
No, it's not. Not by any stretch.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Dynamite, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the other things that are happening in the wrestling business.
hmm
Some WWE stars have officially become free agents now,
Okay.
and there's some rumors and stuff like that.
hmm
So we're going to talk about these things, but of course, we're here to have a healthy conversation. So I ask that
Always.
you guys keep the chat engaged, and be appropriate. We're going to be looking at the chat. Of course, super chats always get the highest priority. So if you guys want to support the show, you could drop a super chat. This will guarantee that your questions, comments, whatever, will get answered. These last few streams, the super chats have been off the chain, very engaging, very good conversations stemming from super chats. So as always, they keep the show fresh.
hmm
Always, we have a
They
super
keep
chat.
they keep our minds flowing.
Yeah, for sure. And of course we have a super chat goal too. So when you help us reach the super chat goal, big things happen. It gets right put back into the streams. And it pays for the software and everything that we're doing. So we appreciate you guys and your support. If you drop a super chat again, you have the highest priority. And then of course, if you're a member on the channel, when we look at the chat, you guys will also have higher priority just by being a member.
Yep.
And of course, as you guys know, we do have a new emote that we rolled out a couple weeks ago with the toilet paper.
Shout out Ricochet.
Shout out to Ricochet. Thanks for the inspiration, my boy.
Yep.
Toilet paper emoji is exactly how I would describe AEW Dynamite last night. So, if you guys want to throw those in the chat, go ahead and do so.
Drop the toilet papers.
Drop the toilet papers, baby. Listen, Billy, last night Dynamite,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be real honest,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I feel like we've gotten to the point where if AEW doesn't fix things like immediately, if they don't pivot immediately, I think creatively, they will have shunned away their entire audience.
Yeah, bro, because even the diehards are starting to notice. And I think that, that's just it. It's not a good look for them right now, man. We're going to dive into this shortly, dude. But like overall, like even just like watching the show itself, right? It was just difficult. And that speaks volumes as a quote unquote fan or whatever. It speaks volumes about your product. Tony is not booking this the correct way.
Yeah.
By any stretch. It's no good.
Yeah, it's all over the place. And I think they were supposed to pivot a while ago. Now we're having some issue with even more logic and more things that are happening across the show. And I'll obviously point those out.
Yep.
Really quick, Rickardy, he says, new to the channel, hope to hear some insight on AEW. Brother, I appreciate you coming through. And listen, people will always kind of have this thing of like, oh, they're AEW haters or whatever.
Yeah.
Many of the things that I'm going to be talking about today are things that I've noticed in 2020, 2021.
Things that we've conversated about for years.
Yeah. And by the way, like, if you guys want to know, like, if you're new to the stream, new to the channel, Billy is one of those guys who he would defend AEW a lot against me. And then it got to the point where he would, like, years later be like, damn, bro, you were right. Like, you said this, this, and this. And like, I can't believe it, but you were 100% right. It led to this.
Many things you told me years ago. And again, just to reiterate, I was one of the biggest. I watched constantly. I loved the show. I loved what was going on, right? And then you start to see cracks within, and you start to see where things are breaking a little bit, and you notice those things. And it's just as simple as just not being naive, right? I'm a fan of pro wrestling at the end of the day, just like everybody here is. And like when you're watching things, don't let people insult your intelligence.
Oh.
That's really what it comes down to. I felt like at some point my intelligence was being insulted. I didn't like Vince McMahon for it. Same applies here. I'm not going to like Tony Khan for it.
Yeah. So yeah, Rickardy, thank you for coming through to the stream, and thank you everybody for coming to the stream. I think really what's the most important thing that we do today is have a healthy conversation.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things. I'm just gonna warn you guys. There's a lot of things about Dynamite that I'm not liking. So if your feelings get hurt, I'm letting you guys know you're free to leave. If you don't like hearing honest and genuine criticism, and I'm gonna tell you guys how AEW can fix this. There's plenty of ways for AEW to fix
For
this.
sure.
I'm giving free game. Literally, like, this is a company that needs it. Like, they definitely need it. And we're not even going to talk in comparison to WWE. Fuck that.
No, this is how to get that AEW healthy.
Yeah, because it's not, they're not presenting a product that is good.
Right.
If you like it, good. I'm happy for you. I swear to God, I trust me. I'm glad you like it, because there is not a lot of people who like it. It's evident in the numbers. And by the way, if you don't want to talk statistics and facts with numbers, maybe numbers and facts, they offend you guys. If that's the case, just listen to the fucking crowd, because the crowd is telling you right now
everything you need to know.
Yeah, exactly. We did get a super chat from Gary McConaughey.
Yeah.
Hope I pronounced that correctly. $2 super chat. Much love, Ango and Billy. Shout out to Gary. Thank you for the super chat.
Shout out, Gary.
I see the chat rolling, and listen, guys, I think we should talk about it.
Let's dive into it.
let's dive into it. So last night's Dynamite. First and foremost, let me just preface this by saying I watched, and I said this before, I watched Collision last week on demand on Max because I had plans. So I didn't watch Saturday night's main event and I didn't watch Collision live. I watched both of those after the fact, right? I had planned Saturday, I couldn't watch them. And Collision was great. I thought Collision was awesome. I thought Collision completely stomped out what Dynamite was.
For sure. For sure.
Collision was a really good show.
They restored the feeling.
Yeah. For that day, they did. So, of course, we get this really cool thing on Collision. We tune in on Dynamite, and then I watch for an entire 2 hours, and nothing of substance has happened. So the show opens, and this is where I get a little bothered by AEW. Okay,
it's their booking choices.
Yes. So we get Will Ospreay versus Brian Cage. And I get it. You got this Don Callis family, and
see, I don't get that though.
Okay, well,
see, I'm just gonna jump
you don't get the Don Callis. What do you not get?
I hate it. So we'll talk. I don't get it because like, why is Don Callis still a thing?
You know, the thing is, the Don Callis family is actually really interesting now.
Takeshita is great.
I think the Don Callis family thing is interesting, right? But we get Ospreay versus Brian Cage, and you know the thing is, like, Brian Cage, God bless this guy.
You remember a couple years ago when he was like not on TV at all?
He wasn't on TV. Now he's on TV. Okay, that's cool. But he's there to eat the pin, right? This is the former Impact World Champion, by the way. The guy that he goes into TNA and absolutely kills it as a top guy back when he was on Impact.
You can look at him. He screams top guy.
Yeah, of course. And then he goes into this match with Will Ospreay, and it's a good match or whatever. But then, of course, we got these shenanigans, like the post-match shenanigans, right? And then, like, to me, when I watch this, I think one of the issues that we have here is and this is the AEW issue, is that you have a whole bunch of good people doing a lot of stupid stuff on TV. And what I mean by that is we still have the Death Rider storyline happening, and therefore the Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, can they coexist? You know, whatever. This thing is like, you have your two guys that are arguably your top stars, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. These are the guys that people love. And they're dealing with the Don Callis family. At the same time, too, Kenny Omega's an EVP, and his company's has been taken over by the Elite, and then they failed, and then they completely dropped it because Tony Khan didn't want anybody else to believe that anybody but him was booking the show.
I heard he was in the weeds.
Yeah, so then Tony Khan, they dropped the Elite storyline, and then they have the Death Riders taking over the company. And then you have the EVP of the company having a major issue with the Don Callis family, which of course it does technically make a little sense for him to go after Don Callis, you know, and I get that. But when your company
Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega?
Kenny.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
Because before he left, he was done with the Don Callis family.
Okay, sure, but it doesn't. I'm just saying there is history there between him and Don Callis.
Okay, yeah.
So you can't ignore that. So the thing is, it does technically make sense, right? Now, as far as Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega being used, my point that I'm making is that the reality is this: you have two guys who are arguably your top stars, and they're dealing with the Don Callis family, which doesn't have as much heat or any sort of momentum in 2025. So the thing is, you have the Death Rider storyline, which absolutely fucking sucks, and that's the stuff that most people are like obviously hating right now, and they're asking the company to pivot. Meanwhile, you can actually solve that by having Kenny Omega and Ospreay and the fucking AEW Avengers come in and
AEW Avengers.
Yeah, and then come in and save the company and fucking reset. But the problem is the company is like, no, we're not going to reset. We're just going to keep doing what the fuck we're doing, and it's obviously not paying off for them.
Tony thinks it's right.
So forget about this Brian Cage thing. It's a cool match. Then they got the whole post-match thing, whatever.
How long did that post-match thing last?
It lasted a minute, bro.
Dude, I was like, they were playing individual music. I was like, what is happening here?
Oh.
And then like you had Will like jump on top of Kenny, like trying to protect him. I thought they were struggling coexisting. Now they don't.
The post-match antics sucked. I don't care. It is what it is. But that's not even the worst of AEW Dynamite.
No, there's more.
So then we have this match. Oh, AEW, how you do this to me. How do you break my heart? Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli. And if Jeff Jarrett wins, he gets his way to a championship match with Jon Moxley. Oh my God. I am not even a Jeff Jarrett hater, and I'm not even one of those guys saying Jeff Jarrett shouldn't be on TV. I have no problem with him being on TV. I'm not one of those guys complaining about it. But holy fucking shit, Claudio Castagnoli, the guy that everybody said this. WWE misrepresented him. They didn't book him well. He wasn't good in WWE. He's going to come to AEW and be a world champion, and he's going to be this, and he's going to be that. And it took fucking the Death Riders to cheat for Claudio to beat Jeff Jarrett? What the fuck are we doing here? I swear to God, Billy, I'm watching this. I'm watching this. And I couldn't stop fucking laughing.
You and me both.
I'm watching Jeff Jarrett literally in a match with Claudio, and the Death Riders are cheating for Claudio to win. First of all, everything fucking matters. You made Claudio look like a bitch.
I mean, you said it best, brother. Listen, a lot of people, everybody was like, yeah, WWE is doing horrible with Cesaro. Like you said a moment ago, he's going to go to AEW. He's going to be a world champion. Now he's the world champion's lackey, struggling to beat a man who's 60 years old.
Oh my God, who had a tweet? Let me go into my Twitter and look at the likes, because I think it was Sean Ross Sapp. Oh my God, it was so funny. Dude, this guy, he goes, what does he say? He goes, why in the shitting heck does Claudio need help to beat a 732-year-old man?
Bro,
oh my God.
Bro.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What
Claudio
the fuck are we
is
doing
supposed
here?
to be one of the best wrestlers in the world. And for some odd reason, a man who's been around since the 1960s almost beat him.
And like I said, I don't even have an issue with Jeff Jarrett. I honestly don't. I don't have an issue with Jeff Jarrett being on TV. I could defend Jeff Jarrett being on TV. But when the story arc is Jeff Jarrett trying to earn a title shot to the world champion, and it takes the Death Riders to cheat for him to lose, motherfucker, you're basically telling me Jeff Jarrett is better than the Death Riders and he should be world champion.
Now you got to give him a title shot.
People
are coming on here, and every person who does what we do is kind of having the same reaction here. Why did it take Claudio? Why did it take all of the Death Riders to beat Jeff Jarrett? That's very, very fair. Now, because we're sitting here having this conversation, and we are aware that Claudio struggled to beat Jeff Jarrett, now tells me you might as well give Jeff Jarrett the shot. You might as well. He's big and bad.
Buddy. So, we're talking about talent utilization.
This shit stinks.
It's, yeah, this is fucking.
I wish I had a button. Oh my God.
Tony Khan, what are we doing?
I'm not going to sit here and do just get all riled up over this, bro, because I actually, and people don't know my history. You know what I mean? They don't really know that I was every day watching this show, enjoying it, loving it, loved every moment of it. And now I'm sitting here having to do this. It hurts, man. It hurts. I remember there was a segment a couple years ago that I think back to, Ricky Starks and MJF, and how good that was. Those two on the mic.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this is great. And then it feels like ever since then, for me personally, it just, once they didn't do anything with the Ricky MJF thing, out the window.
So a show that has missing several stars, you have LFI missing from television, you have Ricky Starks missing, Ray Phoenix missing, Penta left your company,
Fuck it, let's be real here. Punk left your company too.
Punk,
Cody Rhodes.
Cody. Sting is no longer on TV because Sting retired.
And Sting wasn't even helping that shit, to be quite honest with you.
No, I don't agree. When Sting was on TV, it was magic. When Sting was on TV, it was magic, Billy.
Okay. See, I'm not going to sit here and say like it wasn't great, because I love Sting, right? But it wasn't fixing the show.
I could tell you, as much as I pointed out the flaws back then, I would take those episodes of Dynamite every fucking day.
Over this all day.
Over this garbage. 100%. This company needs a reset. What the fuck are we doing, bro? What the fuck are we doing? It is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for AEW. Like, I swear to God, I genuinely believe this is fucking embarrassing. I would be embarrassed for fucking Claudio Castagnoli to have to cheat to beat Jeff Jarrett, a guy who has not been built up on this TV program as a legitimate world champion challenger. That's where we are with this fucking Death Rider storyline. It fucking sucks. It honestly fucking sucks.
And you know what's crazy is the Death Riders in the beginning, it looked like a really fucking good idea.
Oh my God, Billy. The first fucking 2 weeks of it, I was like, wow, this is fucking sick.
Yes, it seemed refreshing. It felt really cool watching Marina Shafir kind of get that kind of momentum back. And then once they just, I don't know exactly where they went wrong, but as soon as you just kind of seen it die down, it was like, okay, we got to do something about this. It might have been around the Bryan Danielson time.
Brother, this is the worst creative period AEW has ever had. And really what it comes down to is they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry, but they don't. They literally do not know what the fuck they're doing. No. I'm watching this show, and this guy that's running this company either has fucking idiots running this show backstage for him, or he's the fucking idiot running the show himself. And I'm sorry to say this because I don't talk about people on a personal level. That's my whole shtick on pro wrestling. I keep away from that stuff. I talk about the show, but Tony Khan is probably the worst booker. If Tony Khan is truly in the weeds, that is being said, then this is the worst fucking thing he's ever put out ever. And it's so fucking sad and embarrassing when I watched Collision last week and being like, damn, this was fucking good. Now I'm watching Dynamite, and Dynamite feels like fucking watching Rampage, bro.
Collision wasn't bad either. That's the crazy part.
Dude, what are we doing? And then to make matters worse, let's just keep it going, right? Let's just make matters worse.
Yeah.
They have this whole storyline with the Death Riders taking precedence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got MJF in the mix with Jarrett. And yeah, they're teasing some stuff with Hangman and MJF, which is cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But everything that is happening on TV results in people are being utilized in a way they shouldn't be utilized.
Right.
This is a company where there is not a clear-cut babyface that is taking over that is going to save the company.
They're not connecting to people's strengths either.
So let's talk about this, right?
Yeah.
Hangman Page, I feel like they're doing a slow burn a little bit for him to become a babyface.
Yes, they're kind of getting back to that.
Great. Buddy, we don't need a slow burn Hangman Page thing. We need somebody to give Hangman Page a beer, turn it into a little comedy segment, and then for Hangman Page to confront Jon Moxley and smash him with a beer glass and fucking challenge him for the world championship and win that shit immediately.
Because get that shit off Jon Moxley. Please get that shit off Jon Moxley.
Why is it that the guys that were the top stars in this company don't feel like top stars in the company anymore?
Him and Kenny Omega were two perfect examples of that.
Kenny, Hangman, MJF, all top stars. Jay White has never felt like a top star in the company, but now Jay White's involved with this Death Rider thing, and he doesn't feel like it's a fucking top star because guess what? I don't think anybody and their mamas believe that Jay White will beat Jon Moxley because they haven't done anything to make him feel like
they haven't told me anything that makes me think, oh yeah, Jay White's got a chance against Jon Moxley.
I sit here and I watch Dynamite for this 2 hours, and I'm sitting here thinking, what the fuck happened to this company? But in 2020 and in 2021, I said the same exact thing. Now, let me just also mention this too, because this is very important. Where the fuck was the Hurt Syndicate?
I seen
New
that. I seen somebody
new
say that in
tag
the
team
chat.
champions, not on TV.
Your most important TV show. Everybody would be like, "Oh, well, they're gonna go to Collision. They're gonna be on Collision." Nobody watches Collision. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Nobody watches that shit. I watched 2 episodes. That was it. I looked up highlights after that. So don't put them on that show. They are your new tag champs. And you did nothing with Private Party. Nothing.
Oh, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. Yeah, our new tag team champions aren't. Everybody told me that they got this. They got this. They got this whole thing going out where, the tag team division's back and it's on fire, and it's gonna be great because Private Party dropped the belts, and that was their reset button.
And then your tag champs don't show up on your show.
It's crazy.
That's what we're calling a fixed division.
It's crazy.
That's how we're restoring things. That's how it's being. Get out of here.
But hey, man, at least you got a cool match between Ricochet and AR Fox.
What the fuck? Oh my God.
Hey, man, at least you got Jay White versus Wheeler Yuta.
For 15 minutes, selling a body part.
But hey, man, at least you got. Hey, at least you got Mercedes Moné versus Yuka Sakazaki.
Dude, this shit stinks. In the main event, too, by the way. The silence says everything.
Yeah, we gotta get to the point where this company presses the reset button. They have to. I mean, it's not
now they do.
Blackpool Combat Club went from being my favorite faction in professional wrestling to being the Death Riders and being the stinkiest faction in professional wrestling. It's bad, bro. It's bad. And things won't change. Things won't change right now. They're not going to. They're not going to change. They're not, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, no. Right now, bro, regardless, no matter what people think, Tony, right now, is a believer, right? He's in the weeds. That his company, it's fine. Nothing's going on. Tony is not listening to you anymore. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Tony does not give a fuck what you think anymore. He doesn't. We can sit here and have this conversation 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 times. It doesn't matter. Right now, Tony is a firm believer that his show is fine when it's not. But we're going to continue to speak up until something is fixed. Because at some point, this show is going to run itself into the fucking gutter.
Yeah. We got a super chat for $13.99 Canadian dollars. Shout out to In Digital Films. He says AEW dropped the ball on so many lengthy copy of have developed into top stars: Wardlow, Malachi, Okada, Hobbs, and Starks. I quit watching after Brawl Out. Sorry for the typos. Yeah, so I mean, look, here's the thing, right? I think what we are witnessing in AEW is an issue with the physical nature of people are not just they're just not utilized correctly. This is a show that's missing. We got the Hounds of Hell without Malachi Black, and we don't have them having a match or anything on here. But the good news is we'll probably see them on Collision, and that's cool. The thing is, if you want Collision to grow, you got to have interest in your main show.
Yes.
So this is where we have to get technical here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Collision was a good episode last week, and I thought Hobbs and Big Bill was awesome, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you follow up with that on Dynamite? Oh, you're not really following up with it on Dynamite. Okay.
Because you did nothing with it.
So that's probably a Collision story. Okay, well, here's the thing. Nobody's going to give a fuck about Collision if people already don't give a fuck about Dynamite.
Well, that's kind of my thing about the Hurt Syndicate. Like, they won the tag team championships last week on Dynamite. You bring them on again on Dynamite. You don't go put them on Collision after they won on Dynamite, because the thing about it is Collision is going, like you said, Collision is going to have no hype built around it if you're not building that main show. And right now, AEW is not building their main show, which they should be doing. Sadly, they're not. I see a lot of people in the chat, oh, they got to bring back this person. They got to bring back this person. Regardless of whoever they choose to bring back, right? It doesn't matter. That's not going to save this show. Bringing Wardlow back, bringing Malachi Black back, bringing Ray Phoenix in, whoever, it does not matter. That is not going to fix this show. The only thing that is particularly going to fix this show right now is if you stop Tony Khan from booking it the way that it's being booked. That is the only way that this changes. You could bring all these people back and it will be the exact same outcome. Will Hobbs was off TV for how long? He comes back, he gets a title shot. Then what? Nothing?
Yeah.
That people, individuals are not going to save this show.
No, they need a whole different creative overhaul.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. They need a whole creative overhaul. And just a quick shout out to those who are watching on TikTok as well. Over 379 likes on TikTok. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, listen, I just want to be very clear. Like, this company needs a whole creative overhaul. I don't know. You know, look, here's the thing, right? Like, Collision could be good every week. Collision's going to go up against Royal Rumble, and they could deliver an awesome episode for Collision. But on Saturday nights, nobody's going to give a fuck about Collision. They have to move Collision night, the nights of where Collision airs. Mm-hmm. But also, they need to do a better job of talent utilization. I've said this for years. I've said this for fucking years. I'm literally repeating myself from videos 4 or 5 years ago. I wish I could sit here and act like I'm like. I know everybody wants to really, really, really do this whole thing of like, oh, Ango is a grifter and Ango is just talking shit about AEW for the money. My boy, if that's the case, go back in history and look at what I'm saying differently. There is nothing different that I'm saying. And listen, in regarding to the super chat, okay, Malachi Black's taken off TV. But like, Okada was a fucking top star in Japan forever.
They compared him to John Cena in Japan.
And bro, like, what the fuck? I don't get this shit, man. I don't get this shit. I swear to God, I don't get this shit. And really what it comes down to is you have to press the reset button. You have to sit down with your creative team and literally say, guys, we are not doing well. But the issue is, I don't think people backstage are acknowledging that AEW is not doing well. I don't think people are.
Yeah, didn't John Moxley come out and say something like, shut up and like enjoy the ride or something?
Yes, and unfortunately, this is a ride that is so fucking bumpy, and it's taking the wrong exit, bro. It went into the wrong exit. You're on your way to your destination, and it took the fucking first exit, and you can't be rerouted. The GPS is telling you right now you can't be rerouted because there's no fucking connection. You've lost connection to your audience. You've lost connection to your fan base. You lost connection to everybody. And here's the thing. I see in the chat that people are talking about WWE on Netflix viewership. Everybody knew that WWE on Netflix was going to have a lot of viewers the first time, and then eventually it'll find its like most regular time viewership, whatever. Right?
You ready for this? You ready for this?
No, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Just a quick point though. We don't need to talk about WWE in this stream because we could compare WWE and AEW, and I'll tell you guys right now that AEW does not even come close to the magnitude of what WWE has in the wrestling business. And I don't want AEW to do that. What I want is for AEW to go back in time and look at everything they were doing good and just fucking do that. Do that. Because listen, the show that I'm watching today is far removed from what it was once before. And I don't know whose fault it is, but at the end of the day, I'm going to make it very clear. I think 1000% Tony Khan absolutely fucked up. Tony Khan is the owner. He is the guy that's running the show, and he's got Ring of Honor, and he's got all these cool things, and he loves professional wrestling. Tony Khan is the fucking problem. And until Tony Khan clicks the reset button, until Tony Khan says that, until he figures out how to fucking listen to his fans, this will always be the issue. And here's the reality. We could talk about WWE all day. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. If we talk about WWE, if we talk about WWE in comparison to AEW, AEW is a little fucking peanut.
For sure.
AEW is a peanut.
For sure.
You had a point. Go ahead and address
I
it.
was just going to say regarding the WWE viewership, I know a lot of people were going to say, like, oh, their viewership dropped, things like that. None of that matters anymore. That's why they left, right? That's why they left cable. Because now, no matter what you say, those cable numbers, they don't matter anymore. They're dead and gone. Same applies for AEW. None of that shit matters. The only thing that matters now is how good is your product. That's it.
And it's not good.
It's not good.
If it's good, would the crowd be interested in what's happening? Yeah. Is the crowd interested in what's happening?
Nope.
You just downsize your arenas to smaller venues and the crowd really don't give a fuck.
Makes my head hurt.
We got another super chat. Brian McHady or McHattie, $10 USD. There is no storytelling or angles. It's just fantasy booking, dream matches, and Japanese fetish cosplay. You don't put top stars in any meaningful role and don't work on building talent for the future. I don't agree with the Japanese fetish cosplay. I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with the fact that you're saying there's no storytelling. Because there is
storytelling.
There is storytelling. I just think their storytelling sucks, but there is. I think their way of telling stories has always sucked. I think they every once in a while they hit a gold mine, such as Tony Storm or Hangman Page and Swerve. I do agree that they don't put top stars in any meaningful role, 100%. And I definitely agree that they haven't built talent for the future. I agree with that a trillion %. And I've been saying that for years.
You know, I look back, you always knew I was a really big Sammy Guevara fan. Yeah. I appreciated what Sammy Guevara was doing, and the fact, like, he's on Ring of Honor right now.
Yeah.
Like, that guy was a part of the first match in AEW. And like that should have spoke volumes about who somebody is on your show. You know, you see somebody like Sammy Guevara in the first match, not only at Double or Nothing, but the first match on Dynamite as well. That guy should have been one of your biggest main factors on the show. And for a long time, he had a little bit of a role, you know, back with like the Inner Circle and stuff like that. But just looking at where we've gone now, it sucks, man. The lack of building new talent. Because here's the thing. We talk about somebody like AR Fox being on the show. Technically, we shouldn't hate that, right? But it's the way that you do it. AR Fox should be built as a new star. You know what I mean? It's just how you go about doing it. And Tony Khan has strictly gone off doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So, but that's been a constant trend in this company.
That's the problem. It's not just this one specific time.
Let's discuss this a little bit further then. Okay.
Yeah.
I have the AEW roster pulled up.
Okay.
So let me share screen. Let me see how I could do this.
Let's pull it up, man. Oh, there we go.
And then let me remove the super chat. Thank you, Brian McHattie, for the super chat, by the way. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Brian.
Let me hide that really quick. And then let me see.
Oh, dude, that's us.
There should be a way. Oh, perfect. Yeah, this is what I was looking at doing.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring this in really quick. So we look at the AEW roster.
Mm-hmm.
John Moxley's your AEW World Champion. Mariah May is your Women's Champion. Mercedes Moné. Oh, don't even wait till I get to Mercedes Moné. You guys want to see some fucking passionate talk? Wait till that comes up. Hurt Syndicate, Kanosuke, Daniel Garcia, Castagnoli, Pac Yuta. Kazuchika Okada. Okay.
Daniel Garcia still a champion.
Let's continue.
Go ahead.
Adam Cole,
Mm-hmm.
part of the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yep.
Was he on TV last night?
Nope.
Was Adam Cole in a match yesterday? Or a storyline yesterday that was pushing the Undisputed Kingdom forward?
Nope.
Okay. We already spoke about Hangman Page. Let's keep going. Anthony Bowen split up from the Acclaimed.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that shit.
So the Acclaimed. There was no follow up really on Dynamite for that.
Oh my god.
Let's keep going. Austin Gunn and his brother. We haven't seen them on TV.
There was a vignette, wasn't there?
If there was a vignette, there was. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think there was of the Guns.
Yeah, but what are they doing?
Nothing. I mean, nothing.
But we'll continue, right?
Right. Keep
Bobby
going.
Lashley and his boy Shelton.
Nowhere to be found, along with MVP.
By the way, I love the Hurt Syndicate, but
Yes.
they're not doing anything on TV. Yesterday, Bandito got hurt when he came back at the Final Battle pay-per-view, so that's why he's not there. I see the chat asking.
Yeah.
Brian Cage is with the Don Callis family, just a guy eating pins. Brody King, Hounds of Hell, not having a match on Dynamite. Brian Danielson is semi-retired. Chris Jericho is the ROH World Champion, and the Chris Jericho Learning Tree thing is arguably the second worst thing on AEW television. We already know that.
Absolutely.
Also, Christian Cage and the Patriarchy. All right. No follow through there. Cope. I get it. Him and FTR keep getting their ass kicked by the Death Riders. Daniel Garcia is the TNT champion, not the TBS champion. I guess that could be fine, right? Whatever.
But where's he at?
Top Flight have a story, I guess, with Top Flight has the story with Action Andretti and Leo Rush, but that's not being followed up on Dynamite. Dustin Rhodes has been moved to ROH. He's the tag champs over there.
With Sammy Guevara. Yep, with Sammy Guevara.
We could keep going. Tony Khan's favorite thing, hologram. We don't see him on Dynamite. There's no follow through. Jay White, he beat Wheeler Yuta and nobody gives a shit.
Nope. Could give a shit less.
We have that. And then we have Jeff Jarrett. God, bro. I can't even do a straight face. I fucking love Jeff Jarrett, but my God, him and MJF and fucking this bullshit with the fucking fucking world champion.
I'm a hater, bro. My man's is an ancient artifact. I love him to death, but man,
when Jeff Jarrett was on TV with Jay Lethal and fucking and Sanjay Dutt and they were doing their thing. I thought that was fine. I was okay with that.
That was fine. Nobody was mad at. I mean, I wasn't a fan of it, but I didn't hate it.
You got Johnny TV doing stuff in ROH. Juice Robinson, I think, is hurt. Shibata, yeah, I mean, I know we see him a little bit from time to time with Hook and Samoa Joe and stuff, but there's no real big follow-up with that. Okada, what the fuck, bro?
What does that championship even do?
The Continental Championship?
Yeah, I thought it was always going to be booked as like a second world title.
Joke's on you, my boy.
I know. I look like a dumbass.
In the words of Ricochet. My favorite, Konosuke Takeshita with the Don Callis family. Okay.
Love Takeshita.
Kota Ibushi, obviously, he's dealing with some health stuff, but we'll see when he ever comes back to AEW. Kyle O'Reilly's back with the Undisputed Kingdom. They still have him listed as the conglomeration, so that's kind of a shame. Yeah. Malachi Black taking off TV. Everybody loves Mark Briscoe. He's not on. He wasn't on Dynamite.
No, because why would they do that?
Miro's not on TV, but people love Miro.
He still exists.
The IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, not on TV.
Of course. They're backstage working, man.
I don't even know if they're doing that. I don't know what the EVPs do in this company.
What does the EVP even mean?
I don't know. Honest to God, I don't know what it is with the EVPs.
And don't go into chat telling me I know what EVP means.
Yeah, these executive vice presidents, I don't know what they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, MJF is wasting his time in a fucking mid card storyline. Even if they do MJF and Hangman Page, like that seems the route that they're going. That's dumb because again, we're talking about talent utilization, and we'll talk more about how to fix it. But this is an issue. MJF should not be wasting his time with Hangman Page. That's not a storyline that you run with. Yeah. Nick Wayne, okay, part of the patriarchy, whatever. Orange Cassidy, same thing. Not, we keep going on and on and on. Powerhouse Hobbs, man, he had that championship match against John Moxley, and then
his return time to TV lasted 1 week.
But no follow through with him. And that's why guys don't break through in this company, by the way. Just so you guys are all aware. The reason why guys don't break through in AEW is because they get a championship match, they lose, and then it's like, okay, well now here they are floating around in another storyline.
Yeah, that man's TV run it was as quick as Usain Bolt.
Yeah. So that's very unfortunate. Preston Vance, I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on with LFI and
who?
Preston Vance, baby. 10.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
When we talk about developing stars for the future, he was the perfect candidate. Obviously, between his link with the Dark Order and everything that he was doing with Brody, and they did that really cool heel turn that was really sick. And then ever since then, it's like, okay, well, now he's just another guy in the roster. Ricky Starks and Ray Phoenix.
Man, what a shame.
Yeah, it's funny. AEW doesn't even fucking remember to update this shit because there is no such thing as the Death Triangle and Lucha Bros. Fucking embarrassing. This company is embarrassing. Ricochet. Oh my God. I remember saying that they were doing a lateral move by Ricochet coming to AEW, and he's actually far off worse in AEW than he is in WWE.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy. Sammy Guevara is rotting away in ROH. Obviously,
they fucked him up so bad. Bro.
A lot of people think that's because of Mercedes being on AEW television. But Sammy Guevara, even though I've said this, I don't like him. I don't think he's, I got my own thing with him. But I'm not dumb enough to deny that, like, when Sammy was on TV having banger matches and he was doing stuff with Jericho or doing stuff, with Cody back in the day.
I mean, they were good matches.
And it was good TV, right?
Yeah, the match with him and MJF on Dynamite that one time.
Yeah. Samoa Joe recently returned, but there's no Samoa Joe having matches on Dynamite. They should put the title on him because when he took the title belt last time, he fucking saved that company.
Man,
Scorpio Sky. God, I don't know what the fuck happened. I miss him.
So do I.
I miss him, bro. And I said Scorpio Sky should be the guy that's like future star, right? I go back to 2019, 2020. Hey, Scorpio Sky should break away from SCU and get a chance at becoming a world champion. He's sick.
Nothing happened.
They could have built him up as a major baby.
You remember that thing with Darby Allin? I remember him throwing Darby Allin down the stairs.
Yeah.
Him and Ethan Page.
Yeah. Crazy. Stokely. I don't know where Stokely is.
Didn't Danhausen come back recently?
Yeah, now he's not doing anything.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
They hate people that make money and get over, apparently.
Yeah, God forbid somebody helps your show.
The Blade and the Butcher, great tag team. They could build a tag team division around them.
They used to have one.
I loved when tag team wrestling was a big focus in AEW, brother.
They used to have tag team wrestling. Now it's dead in the water.
You have the Righteous, and you have Dark Order, and you have Blade and Butcher, and you have LFI, and you have the Patriarchy, and you have so many tag teams available. The Young Bucks.
What happened to Keith Lee? Is Keith Lee on there?
Keith Lee has been battling health issues.
Oh, has he?
Yeah. And I don't think he's clear just yet.
Okay.
So, obviously, I have some people in the chat saying, hey, Blade is still injured. Certain people are still injured.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And listen, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows when somebody's injured in AEW because it's so normal for people to be taken off TV and not being utilized that nobody knows when who is actually injured or whatever.
It's hard to actually tell.
Yeah. So I would have never known that. And that's actually really unfortunate. So that's just the world that we live in these days. We live in the world where AEW people don't get utilized correctly.
Right.
Let's talk about this, man. I want to talk about the Mercedes situation, and then we'll talk about how to fix AEW.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Last night, Yuka Sakazaki fought Mercedes Monet.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good match.
Yeah. I mean, Mercedes puts on good matches.
Good match, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I'm a fan of Yuka Sakazaki. I was there when she joined AEW, and I was there when she was wrestling for AEW.
Mm-hmm.
In what world? In what world do people care about Mercedes in AEW?
Before we continue, it's Darth Bane said that we missed a super chat.
Did we really? I did not
Yeah.
see it. I'm such an asshole.
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's why I'm here. I see it in the chat.
Let me pull it up. I'm looking. Darth Bane, I'm so sorry, my boy. I
Don't
feel
worry.
like a dick.
Don't worry, Darth. I got you. I got you, dog.
Sometimes the chat moves a little too fast.
They do. It moves quick, man. It moves quick. It's hard to actually notice things.
Okay, where is this? I'm looking for it. I'm scrolling. Was his super chat before McHattie?
Maybe. I'm looking too. The chat just moves so damn quick.
Dude, I feel like a dick. I'm so sorry, Darth Bane. I'm looking for it.
I'm looking too. Oh, I'm not seeing it.
I am not seeing it either, but let me go to the YouTube page. No. We're going to get to this.
Yeah, we're going to find it.
On YouTube's chat, I'll be able to find it.
Yeah. Because it's in there.
Dude, not even on YouTube's chat. Okay, hold on. Let me go to YouTube and see. I'll find it. I feel so bad. Sorry about this, guys. But as always, I really do take it serious when it comes to super chats.
I seen somebody ask Billy, what's on your TV? Guys, I'm at work currently, so I'm actually at my job, and I work with individual people, and my guy's over there watching TV. That's all.
Okay, where is this super chat? By the way, over 2,300 likes on TikTok. Shout out to that.
Dude, for real, I haven't even checked on TikTok.
Darth Bane's super chat. I found it. Dude, I am such an asshole. I am so sorry.
Oh, did you find it?
Yep.
Let me go look at TikTok real fast.
Darth Bane, $1.99 super chat. AEW is the 2000-2001 version of WCW.
Oh, dude.
Bro, I think you can make an argument that it's worse.
Yeah, honestly, I've been saying that too.
I'm glad you fucking found. I'm glad I found a super chat because holy shit, I think it's worse, dude.
Dude, I've been saying that for a long time, but yeah, you can make an argument that this is almost worse,
right? Like,
dude, gave a lot of likes on TikTok.
Yeah, that's huge, bro. Crazy. Oh man, TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to everybody watching on X as well.
Good old
TikTok.
Good old TikTok.
TikTok almost got banned.
I know. I was in shambles for like 12 hours.
Yeah, so let's talk about this, right? 2001 version of WCW. The reason why I think it's honestly worse is because I'm old enough to fucking actually know what I'm watching. And when I was watching 2001 of WCW, I was a fucking little kid. So to me, everything was fucking fine, you know? But now that I'm a competent grown ass adult, I think AEW is fucking garbage.
And I'm living in the era of it. That shit. Boo. This guy stinks.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, that's the only reason why I can't. I'm not going to go back and watch 2001 WCW because at the end of the day,
I did hear it was pretty bad too. They said it was pretty bad.
People got to remember when I was a kid, I was a WCW kid, not a WWF kid.
Hey, any of my unks out there, how bad was that shit really? I hear it was pretty bad.
Yeah, a lot of people wasn't a fan of it. Shout out to Big Hero Chris in the chat. Shout out to Mako Breako, who's on X watching us. Shout out to everybody. We have over 400 viewers live, so I appreciate you guys.
That's awesome.
Mercedes has this main event, guys, and Mercedes has this main event with Yuka Sakazaki. We can argue back and forth about how we got there. I thought that was relatively terrible, but I think one thing that needs to be talked about is Mercedes. She gets introduced, nobody really cares. Mercedes is holding like 4 or 5 championship belts, and she's the queen. And I love Mercedes, and I think she's a very, very talented individual.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking about talent utilization. That's the problem that AEW has. So I think it's safe to say that within AEW, the issue that we've really come across is that you have these top stars and these people who are being utilized in ways that just genuinely fucking suck. Like Mercedes having this match against Yuka Sakazaki. Why isn't there a real formidable opponent that has been built up from weekly television
To face Mercedes?
Why is it that I don't see a clear-cut person to take the belt off Moxley, to take the belt off Daniel Garcia, to take the belt off of Okada, to take the belt off of to take the belt off Mercedes, formidable tag team that's been booked across weekly television shows that seems like somebody, could take the belt off the Hurt Syndicate. This company has a foundational issue with building up programs and building up baby faces to take titles off heels. And I feel like we're at a stage where with AEW, this has constantly been an issue, and that's why fans can't get behind a rising star, because they're not creating rising stars and they're not creating a traditional storyline has a ladder system, somebody climbing the ranks to become the next person to succeed. Now, we are going to talk about other wrestling companies and how they do this, because TNA did this exceptionally well with Joe Hendry. There was a path for Joe Hendry to get to the world championship. And the problem is, I think we have been watching TNA and you see Joe Hendry face a little bit of adversity and then he finally wins. And then guess what? Everybody's fucking happy. The same thing that we saw with Cody Rhodes, the same thing that we see with a guy taking the belt. Like when Chad Gable was fighting Gunther, right? There was a lot of people who were excited about Chad Gable being positioned to take the belt off Gunther, and he didn't win. But then WWE found a way to say, okay, well, let's do it with Sami Zayn, right? And they did it with other people. So there's always this traditional ladder that somebody has to climb to win a belt. In AEW, we don't have that.
Shit can just happen in AEW. Like the Daniel Garcia thing, if you look at that, for instance, that was actually not bad with the MJF thing.
Yeah.
And the way he was built to finally win a title was actually pretty, it was pretty good. It's what happened after the title.
And that was the last good chase that AEW has had.
Yes. And that sucks.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get back to this conversation because it's very, very important. It's a very, very important piece to today's stream. So let's get back to that. Rick Corral has dropped a $5 super chat. Why isn't Dustin booking these shows? I think right now I think the issue is there's too many people either booking the shows, or Tony Khan is just absolutely terrible at running the shows. I don't know if I don't know who I single-handedly picked to be the booker of AEW, but I can tell you certainly that any single person in this chat, myself, Billy, any of us could book better than what they have better.
Whatever the hell this shit is.
Yeah. I'll get to who I think is booking and what all that stuff is too, but we'll talk about that. Shout out to Rick for the $5 super chat. David Primero dropping a $4.99. He says, I feel bad for Mercedes Moné as no one is booing or cheering her during her entrance or match. No reactions at all. Scared for her as a fan.
Let's talk about it.
I love her, man. I love Mercedes. So when I see Mercedes in this position where it's clearly not working, it's a booking thing. It comes down to booking. It comes down to booking.
Always has.
It comes down to booking and talent utilization, finding where talent. Again, it goes back to what I was saying in the stream earlier. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay are fighting the fucking Don Callis family, and instead they need to be saving this fucking company from obscurity because you got this whole bullshit thing with the Death Riders. And Death Riders, John Moxley speaking publicly and saying, "Hey, just enjoy the ride, and we got this going, and we're saving AEW and blah 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 blah." Bro, you're fucking killing AEW. Your storyline is the thing that it's the biggest stink of them all. The Death Riders and the Learning Tree, which is strange because John Moxley is one of my favorites, and I really love the people involved in the Death Riders. I just don't like the booking of it, and I really love the people involved in the Learning Tree, but I fucking hate the booking of it. So the two storylines that are associated with the stink of AEW, and Jericho was talking about this the other day where it was like, we're in a good spot and doing smaller arenas and, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, my man, like you guys are doing smaller arenas, not because it's a good business choice. You're doing smaller arenas because nobody gives a fuck about you guys anymore.
That's the problem.
You're doing smaller arenas because your show is not fucking enjoyable to watch.
It's not fun.
And the thing is, they've done a really good job of choosing which small venues to do. And I feel like it's been really cool for a presentation standpoint, but you're doing small arenas and you got Mercedes Moné, who right now, if she came out to the Royal Rumble, she would get a massive, massive, massive fucking pop. So when she comes out there for a title match against Yuka Sakazaki, they're having this main event match or whatever, and they're doing this thing on Dynamite. And you guys want to know why people aren't reacting? Because they haven't put any substance or any beef into the storyline for people to fucking care. So the thing is, Mercedes looks cool with 4 championship belts, and Mercedes is arguably the top act in AEW, but it's not coming across as a top act because they haven't built layers into this for people to be invested into it. So the reality is this. Darth Bane actually put it in the chat too. He says, if you want to know how bad WCW was in 2000, 2001, know that Vince Russo made himself WCW champion. Sure, Vince Russo was WCW champion, and Vince Russo was a fucking idiot too. But guess what? When I was a kid, to me, being a kid, it didn't matter. I was just excited to watch WCW because that's just how it was. When you're a grown-ass adult watching it, yeah, you go back and you're like, okay, that shit sucked. But I'm watching in real time. AEW is going from a really fun product that had really fun matches to a show that's like the matches are okay, but that's not going to save it.
Yeah.
So I can't be invested in the AEW product. And that's why I feel bad. Like David said in his super chat, I feel bad for Mercedes because we all know damn well if she walked in to WWE,
Royal Rumble.
She walked into Royal Rumble, she's blowing the fucking roof off that place.
For sure. They'd lose their mind.
We know that. So we're in a situation right now as we're watching it currently as it stands. They haven't done anything to build credible challengers for Mercedes. So nobody cares about Mercedes. Nobody's going to care about Cope. Nobody's going to care about Swerve. Nobody's going to care about any of these things. Even though AEW has the sickest roster out there, I think AEW doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, none of that shit matters.
Shout out to David for the super chat. Thank you. As well as Rick Corrales. Let's talk about how to fix AEW.
Come on, let's talk about it. I made a video about it.
I'm gonna be very honest when it comes to building AEW. It stems from a couple different things that need to happen. Okay, I'm watching this show, and it goes back to what I was saying about Mercedes. Mercedes isn't going to get a reaction because nobody's invested in Mercedes. The reason why they're not invested in Mercedes is because they're not traditionally building a program where it looks like a reason for you to get behind Mercedes. Mercedes is a belt collector, but at the end of the day, she's holding belts that really don't mean anything.
Right.
Now the thing that I'm going to talk about with Mercedes is applied everywhere. Yuka Sakazaki, Deonna Purrazzo, and we have 2 other ladies. They do the Fatal 4-Way. Winner goes to face Mercedes, right? That was a random match thrown together.
Yep.
Now, I reach out on Twitter. I respond to Tony, and I was like, hey, I'm just curious. And this is where wrestling fans become very disappointed, and you're a grifter and you're looking for reasons to hate. But I was being serious. When AEW first started, you were granted title matches based on your rankings. Now, for a very short period of time, based on your wins and losses, if you won matches, regardless if they were random or not, random stories or not, it didn't matter. That was the way they justified putting out. That's how they justified a random match for a title because they were like, hey, this person's so-and-so, whatever. Now, obviously, the rankings and then the wins and losses stopped mattering because then they just kind of pushed that to the side and then started booking random matches.
Yeah.
But I asked in that response, like, hey, just curious, what have you guys done on TV for these 4 ladies to be put in this match that earns an opportunity for the #1 contendership for the TBS championship, right? And it got a lot of views, and obviously Tony Khan's not going to respond to that, and that's fine. But a lot of people were responding. They're like, bro, it's just a random match, 4 of the best talented women, whatever. Okay, so here's the thing. You're going to tell me that so-and-so is the best, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could tell me the sky is blue or the sky is green, but you have to show me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you show me the sky is green, I'll believe you that the sky is green. If you show me the sky is blue, I'm going to believe you that the sky is blue.
Right.
If you're going to tell me this is a match because these are the best wrestlers, well, why aren't you showing me that on a weekly basis?
Right.
And that's the core issue of AEW, and this is how you fix it.
For sure.
You need to follow the traditional system of climbing the ranks, climbing the ladder. Whether it's wins and losses, it doesn't matter, but it has to be from, hey, I'm starting from the bottom, getting to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked at the AEW roster earlier. We have the Death Rider storyline being a very major downfall of AEW. This is the storyline that is really not that good, right?
Yeah.
So to fix it is, in the meantime, while this stinks up your entire show, you have the top babyface who is ready to save the company from this misery. So this guy goes through single-handedly members of the Death Riders until each week, every single week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until you get to the point of where that person faces Jon Moxley and defeats Jon Moxley.
Yes.
So who is the guy? Is it Jay White? Is it Hangman Page?
Now it seems like it's nobody.
But the reason why it seems like nobody is because, well, Jay White, they're probably building Jay White versus Jon Moxley for Grand Slam Australia.
For sure.
But here's the thing, right? What was Jay White doing as a singles competitor trying to get to the top of AEW in the last year and a half?
To earn that position.
They haven't done anything. So this is not a solution, right? The AEW solution doesn't happen within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right?
Mm-mm.
It starts from the minute that you put somebody on TV.
Right.
So I've said this 4 years ago. I'm going to say it again in 2025. When you debut somebody, you have to give them a clear trajectory of where they're going to be.
Your TV time matters.
Exactly. So not only does your TV time matter, but now you're at a stage where you have to put people on TV every single week and let them climb the ladder. And when they have setbacks or when they face adversity, that's a really good thing because then it prolongs the story a little bit more. But guess what it does? It gets the crowd and the people at home like, we need to get behind them a little bit more. And then eventually they do. And that's what happens. So again, it goes back to my comparison earlier. In TNA, Joe Hendry faced a little bit of adversity, but it was very clear that Joe Hendry had his eyes on the world title. That was the mission. And he failed a couple times. And eventually he got back up and he finally did it.
Yes.
Right? Cody Rhodes, same thing with Roman Reigns. And everybody looked at Cody Rhodes when he was going through Brock and everybody in between. Everybody looked at Cody and they're like, oh, more adversity. He's never going to win the world championship. Then eventually WWE gave you that moment where Cody won.
Yeah.
Right now in AEW, there is not any person on TV that clearly has a trajectory of where they want to be. You hear a couple of guys talk about the world title. You see Jeff Jarrett talk about the world title. And guess what? Jeff Jarrett, if he was winning matches every single week or in a storyline for several weeks at a time where he made it clear he was going for the world championship, and then MJF comes and crashes the party, then it's like, okay, cool. Like, that's fine. But when the storyline is Jeff Jarrett says, I want to win the world championship, MJF comes out and basically says, no, you can't do it. Then Jeff Jarrett has a match with Claudio. And by the way, Claudio needs help and they're cheating. Well, then guess what's going to happen? People don't give a fuck about Jeff Jarrett. And then people laugh about it because they're like, Claudio needed the Death Riders to help. So what you need to do is put people in a position where they have it very clear what their sights are set on. And AEW doesn't have the answer to this because AEW doesn't know what their plan is.
They don't have anything. They don't have a sight.
They don't have vision at all of where they want to be in the future. And that's the problem with AEW. So to fix that, you put people on TV, they have their mission statement. And here's the thing, like Hangman Page and MJF could be a fun feud, but then now we get back into this issue of like, why are we focused on that mid-card feud when the storyline that's supposed to carry the company is the one that's being receptive with poor reception.
Yes.
Yeah, like people don't like the Death Rider storyline. It stinks. It's not fun. It's not good.
And that's supposed to be your leading storyline.
Exactly. So again, you got to build stars properly and give them a clear trajectory.
Yes.
So for example, when the Hurt Syndicate win the tag titles and they're not on Dynamite next week, the way that it should have been was that they were on Dynamite talking in the ring and being met with 2 tag teams or 1 tag team coming out and saying, listen, congratulations, my hats are off to you. You guys came in here and did work really quickly. But let me just tell you that we are the heart and soul of AEW's tag team division. We've been here for a very long time, and we want you to know that we are coming for you, and we're going to work our way up until we get to that moment. Now, the thing is, on Dynamite and Collision, whoever that tag team is, right? And we'll say maybe it's Private Party because they lost the belts to them. Hey, we'll work our way back up and we will meet again. Well, guess what? Every single week, if Private Party are winning tag team matches and having great tag team matches, the crowd will now be like, man, we need to see
I can get behind Private Party.
Yes, and I could get behind a feud for them and Hurt Syndicate. Yeah. And the thing is, what you have to do, though, is not just have them come out and cut the promo, but you got to actually put them on TV having tag team matches. This is so fucking easy to fix. The fact that I don't see Tony Khan or AEW doing this is mind-blowing, because the same issue that I just talked about applies to the women's division. It applies to the World Championship division. It applies to Okada. Okada was the biggest star in Japan, and he comes to AEW and he's holding the Continental Championship. Well, okay. Is the Continental Championship going to be defended on TV regularly? Are we going to build up a program for somebody in Okada? No, AEW says the Elite take out Kenny. Kenny goes back to, he shows up in Japan. Then he comes to TV. He has a little moment with Okada, but now Kenny is dealing with the Don Callis family.
Yep.
Brother, what are we doing here? The solution is this. Don't tease something now for fucking All In Texas. Get to work now. These were the guys that beat your fucking ass when you were battling diverticulitis. Yep. So the solution is stop putting people on TV for the sake of putting them on TV. Put them on TV.
Make it make sense.
Build people up.
That's it. It's not hard.
Where's our trios champions?
Who?
AEW has done this thing where they've done too much for no reason.
Yes.
Simplify your process. And this is a message to the AEW creative team, because I don't know who the hell is running shit back there. I don't know if it's Tony Khan. I don't know if it's Will Washington. I don't know if it's Jen Pepperman. I don't know if it's fucking this wrestler, that wrestler, Jerry Lynn, this and that. I don't know if Tony Khan's in the weeds. I don't know if Tony Khan is not in the weeds. I don't know what the hell is happening, but here's how it's going to go. This is the way it works. Build a show around this. If we are not accomplishing building new stars and continuity on a week-to-week basis, and we don't have a long-term plan, I can't have you giving me creative input. And that means talent should not have creative input. And that means whoever's cooking in the kitchen with Tony Khan, either they get along and get on the same vision as Tony Khan, so it's all unified one vision that succeeds in building up talent and building up stories with layers and layers and layers. That way people and fans could get behind talent. Or at the end of the day, just say goodbye to this bullshit. Because listen, I'm telling you right now, Mercedes versus Yuka Sakazaki could have been a 10-star banger match, but nobody cares because Yuka Sakazaki is not on TV every single week building it up for the chase. And wrestling has always been about the chase. It will always be about the chase, and it's never going to go away.
Look at it like the chase.
Now, if AEW doesn't want to create good stories, which is fine, because I'm not, like I said earlier when we addressed the super chat, they said AEW doesn't tell stories. They do. They suck at it. That's the problem. How do you fix it? You go to what works in professional wrestling. Typical hero, typical heel, villain, and build up your heroes. You have no heroes in your company. There are none. And the thing is, your company, when this company was building up Hangman Page as a babyface, and they did such a great job with it. And listen, they did such a great job with it where, to me, Hangman Page was unbelievably their greatest asset. Now Hangman Page has this amazing feud with Swerve, but now he's a heel. And he's got some really good acting characteristics, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff. At the end of the day, that's happening in the middle of the show. That's happening at the least important times of the show. Yep. That should be happening. He should be kind of changing. Hangman Page has to snap out of it. He should be the one to save AEW. But the reason why you do that is because he's the foundation of AEW. And here's the thing.
He's done it once. He's got to do it again.
Exactly. And that's how you actually turn him babyface. That's how you solidify the babyface turn. But AEW has been at the point where they don't do that. They don't think that way. And AEW would just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And this is why people don't cheer or boo for Mercedes. This is why people are silent for Jay White and Wheeler Yuta. And this is why people are absolutely ashamed to be watching Jeff Jarrett having Claudio Castagnoli cheat in a match to beat him, because now you're just doing random shit. And the more random shit that you do, the more people tell. And by the way, if people think I'm hating on AEW, let me just wrap this up on how to fix AEW. Look at the fucking numbers. Listen to the crowd. Listen to what people are saying. This is not good booking. These aren't great shows. The best thing that you have going in your company is Toni Storm, and you're putting her to go compete with the fucking Royal Rumble. Oh my God. How dumb do you have to be?
Oh, guys. He's absolutely right.
How dumb do you have to be? Collision's going to get fucking whopped by WWE Royal Rumble. So we're going to keep Toni Storm. We want to build Collision up to being the great show, right? We want Collision.
Then on Saturday you go and put her up against the Royal Rumble, which is honestly going to be one of the biggest Royal Rumbles, if not the biggest.
Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable.
Ango, man. We can't save them. We can only hope they'll listen to us. Somebody said get Ango to book. Get Ango to book. Who cares? I think he'd do a great job. I'm supporting my friend though. Oh, Mike fix. Oh, we can't hear Ango. Nope, still can't hear. I can't. I can leave and come back.
Can you guys still hear me? That's the real question. Billy, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
We fixed that. See, that's what happens. I feel like I'm fucking
get
Angle the book.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I would. I'm not even fucking bullshitting. I'm not fucking lying. Tony Khan, let me sit down with you and I will fix everything.
I believe it.
People will laugh at me for this. People will laugh at me for that, but I'm being so fucking honest. I'm being so honest. I know for a fact. Let me put on the fucking suit and tie and I will come and do this. I will make sure that your top stars are looked at as top stars. I think I would genuinely dead ass. I feel like I would change the way wrestling is perceived. It doesn't matter what company it is. I feel like I would satisfy every kind of fan. I would satisfy the sickos. I'd satisfy the fucking the casuals. I would do all of that.
Yeah.
100%. I'm not bullshitting because here's the thing. People think, oh, I'm just a YouTuber. Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize that like I have real world experience of doing shit. And so therefore, like, obviously I love professional wrestling. And I'm super passionate about it, but I want to be a writer, obviously. And I genuinely believe I would be a fucking fantastic writer to the point where I feel like I would have 6 to 12 weeks mapped out. And in the event that there was an injury, I would have ways to call an audible and make everything logic and logical. And like, listen, I genuinely believe maybe it's my ego. I don't really give a shit. I will stand on business 1000%. I do believe I would be a fantastic writer in professional wrestling. And I think a lot of people think that way too, because they're fans.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, I do genuinely believe that if I was given the opportunity to write television for AEW, I feel like I would be able to do an extremely good job. And I think that would be the same whether it was for NXT or for AEW or for WWE, TNA. It doesn't matter. For an indie show, like I genuinely believe I would be a fucking phenomenal writer. And listen, the reason why I think that is because there's two reasons. One, AEW is a company where since the very beginning, I found like there was foundational issues.
Yeah.
Since day one. The difference was back then it was only like 1 or 2 segments where it'd be really wonky, not the entire show. Now we're watching in 2025 and it's pretty much the entire show from A to Z is pretty much garbage.
Yeah. It's all
and so the thing is like, and listen, me talking shit about AEW and doing this, it's not because I'm not advocating for a job. Like, I just want to be very clear about that too. I just genuinely believe I would be able to go in there and definitely change things. I don't think Eric Bischoff would be the solution. I don't think Vince Russo would be the solution. I don't think Jim Cornette would be the solution because I think older people don't genuinely understand this wrestling business the way it's changed and the way society has changed. So I definitely believe it's a young man's game. And I think there's a lot of people, and I say this about every corporate company, I think there's a lot of corporations that are ran by old people in suits that are disconnected, but they got the money, and that's all that matters because money rules everything.
Facts.
But fuck that shit. I'll turn that bitch around real quick. I'll get AEW. I'll get AEW on its feet. I guarantee. Listen, we can't talk about Tony Storm and an amazing episode of Collision when Dynamite's shit. Dynamite's your flagship show.
The Collision doesn't matter if Dynamite doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, very simple.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is.
Wow, what a stream, bro. This one.
Yeah.
Really, really crazy, huh?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Get Ango to book.
We did hit our super chat goal, I believe. So yes, we did.
Ago. Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Darth Bane, McHattie, David Primero, Rick Corrales. Man, shout out to everybody who pulled up.
We're doing Rumble predictions tomorrow, right?
Yes, Rumble predictions are tomorrow. Oh, yes, let's talk about the free agent thing really quick.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
You're good.
I'm just looking for my list.
You're good. WWE has some free agents.
Did I watch JD from New York last night? He was on fire. No, honestly, last night I was watching Dynamite, and then I was at the gym. I was watching Dynamite, and then I went to bed.
I watched a couple minutes of it. I watched like the first 10 minutes. He was going off.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Listen, guys. Oh, it was so fun talking about this with JD when he was in our chat the other day. There was just a lot of things I would tell JD when he was defending AEW. Just like you, defending AEW. Everybody had to fucking defend AEW. I said, stop. It's going to be fucking problematic. It's going to suck. There's going to be issues. And
here we are.
Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me.
Here we are.
Nixon Newell, a.k.a. Tegan Knox, is now a free agent.
Okay.
And there was one more that I'm trying to find at the moment because I don't know why I erased it.
Tegan Knox, man, she has always kind of just been back and forth, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Ango's borderline in WWE.
Bro, I was just reading that as we were sitting here talking. Oh my goodness.
I'm only a WWE agent when I talk about AEW, but then I'm an AEW agent when I talk bad about WWE.
Bro, you're an informant.
It's so funny, bro. It's so funny though because they think this, but I know. So here's what's funny. They say this, but they actually don't genuinely believe it. And the reason why they don't genuinely believe it, Billy, is because at the end of the day, we live in a society where this is where we live in the climate of social media. If you tell me the sky is purple and you convince yourself that the sky is purple, you're not going to listen to anybody telling you that factually it's not purple.
We got called parrots too. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Be safe out there.
I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped caring about shit like that because at the end of the day,
oh, Ango, you're a hater.
Brother, who am I mimicking? Who am I mimicking? My boy, let me tell you something. My videos have been public for fucking 5 years. Go back and watch.
Go learn a thing or two, bro.
Go back and watch.
Go learn a thing or two, brother.
Go back and watch. We were literally talking about this. Me and Billy had conversations where Billy was up the ass of Tony Khan and defending absolutely everything, and he would challenge me on this shit, and I would literally tell him like,
absolutely.
You guys just say this because JD's a bigger channel.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
But you guys weren't saying this. You guys weren't saying this.
We've had these conversations for a long time.
Yeah.
This is nothing new.
How about you guys just go watch me streaming with JD, telling JD that he's completely wrong? I would be the same shit that I'm spewing now is the same thing I used to tell JD.
Facts.
JD finally caught on and realized that AEW is shit. Just like many of the hundreds of thousands of people who stopped watching the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at your. Oh, I love this. This is fun.
Yeah, bro. Hold on. Here we go.
This is
Here we
fun.
go.
Look at your last uploads about WWE's obsession and AEW whining. Okay, let's look at them. Let's talk.
Yeah, pull them up. Pull them up. Pull them up.
No. Let's talk about them.
Okay.
Let's talk about them. Let's hear about it.
You got anything?
I'm curious.
I'm wondering. This guy's a genius. He knows everything. Where's he at?
Billy, what have I been talking about consistently wrong about WWE in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, months about WWE's women's division and NXT's women's division?
Yep. How it's
and the main event scene in NXT is fucking garbage for the men.
Yep, we've talked about that numerous times. Something we both said.
Brother, to be biased, you got to be fucking paid off. I'm not paid off.
Right.
You're just mad. You mad, cuz. You mad. Make your own fucking videos.
Yeah,
make your own fucking videos.
You
don't like the same things as me. You're a bitch, dude.
You're a grifter.
Grifter.
Nice community. You're absolutely right. This is a great community. You should be in it,
baby. Woo! This is fun. Yeah. Hey, I had somebody. There was a content creator that he kept commenting on my videos. He's like, "You're so biased against AEW." I'm like, "Join me on a stream." They don't want to because they can't.
No.
I openly invite the conversations because at the end of the day, you can't argue subjective things with me.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
But also at the same time, too, what have I said about WWE? Cody Rhodes. Kevin Owens is just filler. They don't have anybody built up for Cody Rhodes.
No, they don't.
TNA is on tonight. Please give it a watch. It's very entertaining and it's been consistently good. Yes, it has. And I'm excited for tonight's show.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite, Billy, is when they tell me I only started talking about TNA once the partnership got arrived.
Yeah, and they don't know really what the history is.
They have no idea that the only reason why I'm a fucking YouTuber is because of total nonstop action.
I'm not gonna lie. I paid for TNA, the weekly subscription or the monthly subscription.
The TNA Plus.
Yeah.
It's good, man. It's a good TV show.
Yeah, I like it.
It's an easy watch.
Yes, I like going back in the history of TNA too.
You know, they have a sick tape library. That's for sure.
Yeah, it is one of the sickest tape libraries.
Shout out to everybody on TikTok, by the way.
Shout out to everybody.
I gotta remind you guys. To show you guys some love. J Bark 540. We don't live here. A few of the other guys, just so many hearts on TikTok. Eventually, it'll be cool once we could get a couple hundred viewers on TikTok too. That'll be amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like 2-point-something likes. I don't know. That's pretty cool. I don't know how that shit works on TikTok, but
TikTok's weird, dude.
Yeah, no spoilers for TNA tonight, please, guys.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Okay. Well, I think that's the perfect way to end the show.
For sure. G has left the chat.
Oh, I'm going to show you how biased you are. Why? Because I said good news for WWE because they fucking made cool announcements?
It doesn't even matter.
What about the ones where I say with AEW? What about when I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucking excited they announced the stadium show in Australia. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to fucking expand internationally.
Oh. That dude just came in here, watched our stream, and hated it. Thanks for the viewer, brother.
Shout out to Kevin Schiffman. Ango will always support you. Thank you, bro. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. The thing about this YouTube stuff is everybody's going to scream bias, grifter, hater, this and that, whatever. But the reality is this. I've been doing this long enough. We could go back several years, and I'm not spewing anything new. And that's sad. That's actually the sad thing. I wish that wasn't the case, but the sad reality is the things I said 6 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I've been saying weekly. So those are the things that need to be talked about when we do these things, because if I could offer new criticism, I would, but they're still having the same issues that they had before. And that's the unfortunate part about being a content creator is people will never do their research. But like I said,
Oh, you can't hear you anymore. It's all bad. Let me leave and come back. Hold up. You again?
Yeah, okay, I know we're good now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I just know if somebody tells you in this world, if somebody says, "Hey, the sky is purple," and they're convinced that the sky is purple, you could tell them the sky is blue, and they're gonna sit there and tell you that the sky is purple. You can't change people's mind, and my job is not to change your mind. My job is to just shoot my opinions. And
You know, for me, when it comes down to me, I am very new to this. You know what I mean? This is a new world for me. I just started doing the wrestling stuff, not YouTube in particular, but the wrestling stuff about a little over a year ago now. Um, and just the reception that I've gotten has been really nice. But you guys, if you go back to some of Ango's old streams, I exist there in their 2020, 21. You know, I was there somewhere. So, you know, if you want to talk, I mean, this guy's been doing it for so long. I mean, as a friend, put some respect on the man's name. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. Put some respect on the man's name. I'll tell you what, brother, you motivated me.
appreciate that, my boy. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, brother.
Guys, this stream was insane. We had over 500 viewers at one point across all the platforms. I don't know what the I yaps a lot on TikTok. It became the number 3 gifter badge. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
I'm still learning TikTok, guys. But we had a great stream. Very, very, very good time today. And I appreciate everybody pulling up and being there. And listen, man, we're gonna keep the Ango show going Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. We will be live tomorrow with Royal Rumble predictions. It should be a really, really, really good one. So yeah, I think that's going to be a very fun stream as well.
Yep.
And shout out to everybody for helping us hit the super chat goal. Shout out to everybody who liked the stream. Shout out to everybody who pulled up. The watch time was incredibly awesome here, and the viewership was extremely great. So I know we're building something cool. Shout out to Darth Bane. Shout out to everybody who pulled up. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to everybody watching on X and TikTok. And shout out to everybody for all the likes. Over 3,000 likes on TikTok. I don't know what the hell that means, but 3,000 likes is cool, I guess. And yeah, so we will we'll be back tomorrow. And
Yeah.
shout out to y'all. Thanks for watching, guys.